Hi, we're Chris and Tammy.
And we are here to share some tips, some products and services to help RVing with your dogs and keep it way more enjoyable.
Yeah, the easier the better, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we first started, we really didn't know what to expect, and it was kind of stressful.
Very stressful.
And we're going to hopefully alleviate some of that stress if you're an RV newbie.
So let's get on to those tips.
A very important thing to do is to stay calm, especially when you're moving from one location to another.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, especially when you're new to RVing, it's hard not to get angry and frustrated because it's a lot to learn. And
you're not sure of yourself.
Yeah. But if you start stressing out, your dogs are going to pick up on that. And they're going to stress out, and then it's like a snowball effect. So even if you're dying on the inside and want to
scream at the top of your lungs,
yeah, just
stay
hide
calm.
it. Yeah.
So one thing that you can do to kind of help alleviate the stress, especially when you're breaking down camp or setting up camp, because an RV newbie, that is the most stressful, except for maybe driving your home down the road.
Mm-hmm.
But that is very stressful. And keep your pets and put them away in the car.
Yeah.
Let them relax in there, chill out with the AC on or the windows down, depending on the temperatures.
Yeah. You don't have to do it from the very beginning because, you probably don't want to leave your car running for 2 hours. Once you start doing the final, like bringing in the slides and all this kind of stuff.
Disconnecting,
because they pick up on that and they start getting all antsy and getting in your way. And, we just find if we put them in the car and their carriers or their crates, they do much better. They stay calm and we stay calm. So that's a good thing.
When you are traveling with your dogs, you want to stop and give them potty breaks quite often.
We stop about every 3 hours. It's good to, like plan it out too, like look for a Buc-ee's or a rest stop. Buc-ee's, they have all kinds of room on the outskirts of their parking lot to walk your dog, and they usually have those little bags and everything to help you out.
And trash cans to throw it in.
And if there's no Buc-ee's where you are, just look for a rest area, and find out where they are along your route, that way you can kind of plan it all out as you're going along, and you're not, in the middle of nowhere and your dogs need to go. That's not a good thing.
We have stopped at some gas station where there's an empty lot next door that we can kind of, on emergency situations.
Yeah, you can usually figure something out, but the more you plan it out, the easier it is.
And the more relaxing your trip can be.
Yeah, making plans and all that just helps keep everyone relaxed, and that's the best way to travel in an RV, is relaxed and happy.
Mm-hmm. And then another thing, I guess, while you're traveling with your dog, when you call and book your campground, you want to make sure that you check what their pet policy is.
Some RV campgrounds, they have restrictions on breeds or size of dogs or how many dogs, and some even don't allow pets at all. So be sure you know exactly what to expect before you show up. Last thing you want to do is show up at 7 o'clock in the evening and they won't let you in.
Yeah,
they turn you away. And then you got to figure out what you're going to do. You're in a strange city somewhere or state.
And you got dogs in tow.
Yeah, no fun. Now, when you're RVing, almost anything can happen. So it's a really good idea to keep your vaccination records and your medical records for your pets on you. You know, if something happens, the more information you can give the vet that you find, the better. And you never know if someone wants vaccination records or something like that. And keep a photo of your pet, you know. I know we all have 10,000 photographs of our dogs and cats and stuff in our phone, but just in case, I just wanted to remind you, you know. So, you know, not everybody has a phone with a million photos in it, I guess.
I think the pet owners do.
Yeah.
And if an emergency does happen with your pet while you're driving, there is a company called the VCA Animal Hospitals, and they have over 1,000 hospitals nationwide and in Canada. So if you're in an unfamiliar place, you can contact them, or they have an app, My VCA, and you can chat with them 24/7.
Mm-hmm. Can be very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is a very important tip to us, at least.
A tired pet is a good pet.
Yes. That's good, yeah. You want them to be good. So we run our dogs and play with them as much as we can. If we're in a campground, we'll take them at least 3 times a day to the dog run and throw balls and rope bones and whatever we can to get them worn out. And when we come back to the RV, they just pass out, you know, and we get a break, you know.
Peace and quiet for a
peace and
couple
quiet.
hours.
So it's important to let your dogs run and have fun.
What you got there?
We're very fortunate right now because we're on 300 acres and we're on a lake, and they love the lake. So we walk them down to the lake, and they have a time of their life every time. I mean, they get so excited, especially, you know, like Ringo, if he even thinks I might be going to the lake, he starts freaking out, you know. Yeah, it's kind of annoying almost. You know?
So if you like hanging outside with your dogs outside with you, they have a few options.
Mm-hmm.
Amazon has quite a few of those pet fences, and they're really easy to put together. You just put them together, slide a thing down in between them.
A stake, yeah, you just keep doing that all the way around until you make an enclosure.
And they fold pretty flat too,
Yeah.
so when you're traveling, they don't take up too much room.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we can't use the fence because Jasper, he gets separation anxiety. He's 90 pounds. He'll knock it over. You know, I mean, and we're in the hill country and the ground is full of rocks. So it's really hard to get those spikes in the ground and really secure the fences. But I think, you know, if normal place with normal, you know, ground or
Like with dirt and grass and stuff.
we could probably make it a lot more secure for them. But another thing we do is, you know, now you have to be out there with them to do this, but we have long pieces of rope that we tie to a tree and let them run it around while we're outside with them. Tell us about that lead that you can get for outside.
So I've seen other RVers, we wanted to try this too, is they put a lead up between 2 trees, and then they hook their dog's leash to that so they can run without getting tangled around your chairs, the tree, you name it. And I think that's a great idea, and we have 2 trees right out here we're going to try that with.
I think that'd be a good solution for us. Better than the rope. Jasper likes to go round and round a tree and then...
And Ringo.
Yeah, and then we have to walk them back around. And that's why we can't leave them out there alone.
Yeah.
They'd be out there, you know. But as long as we're out there, it's a good thing so they can hang out with us.
Another product that I'm interested in getting is the hands-free leashes. And it's basically a belt with a little fanny pack, and the leash clips right onto that, so that you have one hand for your phone and the other hand for your coffee. Or if it's in the evening, one hand for your phone and the other hand for your martini. I don't know if it's going to work so well with Jasper. He's about 90 pounds, and he can pull me. He can't pull Chris, but he can pull me down the road.
He's a bull in a china shop.
Always.
Always. Yeah. He's a good boy, but he doesn't know how big he is. He thinks he's a little lap dog. One thing we want to point out, though, speaking of leashes, retractable leashes. These things are a bad idea. The dog doesn't know, you know, they're going to keep testing their boundaries because they don't know how far they have to go. And you can, you know, they can get away from you, or you could trip people with them.
You don't have as much control over them as well.
Yeah.
You know, Endless RVing, MJ did a great video, and she talked a lot about those and the reasons why you don't ever want to use them. So
Yeah.
I'll link her video down below. Definitely check it out. So when you are traveling with your dog and you want to know if you can take your dog to a restaurant or a destination or anywhere, there's a website called bringfido.com, and you just type in your location and they tell you what their pet policy is. They have hotels, restaurants. I checked the national park. There's, campgrounds, you name it.
The more informed you are and prepared, the easier this life is, So things like that are invaluable,
Now, if you can't bring your dog to where you want to go, there is a service called Waggle, and it's a pet temperature monitor. And they will alert you if the power goes out in your RV, if the temperature gets way too hot or way too cold in the winter.
Yeah.
And it also tracks the humidity as well. It is quite pricey, but it is the best one on the market.
Yeah.
And they don't send you unnecessary text. You only get notification if there's something wrong with your RV or your pet.
Yeah, and if you lose power, it doesn't matter because it's on the Verizon.
Oh, that's right. Yes,
Yeah.
it is on the Verizon cell towers. So if you do lose power, you're still going to get your notifications.
So that seems to be the most foolproof way to do it. RVs, things can break quite often. Another thing we do if we're going to be gone for a long period of time, we turn the propane off, and we even turn the water off.
And drain the pipes.
And drain the pipes, because our cats, if we're not here, they'll turn the faucet on, and we come home to a
flooded RV.
Yeah, so
not fun.
Yeah, don't want to do that.
Well, we know how much your pets mean to you, and we're hoping that these tips will help you decide if you want to go RVing with your dogs.
Yeah, and make it easier if you do. You don't have to learn everything like we did the hard way. We'll save you a little trouble, hopefully, anyway. And we hope you'll bump that like button and subscribe. We sure would appreciate it, and it's free.
And also look for us on Facebook and Instagram.
Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Have a great day.